Welcome to the after party. Welcome to the after party. Did you bring some snacks and treats?
Yes, it did.
I hope you got me something to eat.
Maybe.
Welcome to the after party. Coming to the after party.
Right now.
I've been waiting here all day to act like a fool this way. Welcome to the after party. Join us in the after party.
Right now.
Oh, chocolate and dabbing, maybe some microphone dabbing at the after party.
With DJ Eric Pate.
Right as my stream was getting started, my cat was dragging something in here. I'm like, what is going on? Anyway, both cats are in here with me today. They did not want me to shut the door, so therefore we may have some cat appearances in the building. Hello, everyone. Eric here. Welcome to the stream. I want to give a shout out to some Team Airrick members. We have Darth Bunyan in the house. Hello, Darth Bunyan. The South Texas Shark is here. Thanks everybody else for being here. Do appreciate it. We're going to bring on, we have one guest today. It's going to go back to old school here, where it's Paigey is in the building. Miss Paigey.
Since when am I a fucking guest? When the fuck did that fucking happen? I'm a guest. I've been reduced to being a guest.
How do I surprise people without like playing into it?
I'm in the intro. What are you talking
I know, and I'm surprising you by bringing you up because we've had like 20
So it's almost
here
so it's almost like when it's someone's birthday and then they're meant to go, oh wow, a party, I'm so surprised. Is it meant to be sort of like that? Or
it's like, I was trying to build suspense. So I don't know.
You know what would have been really good? Suspense. If it was Ray Fisher as the guest. It's not me, it's Ray Fisher. And then I could
go back and play the 10-minute intro that I used to do, like the one with all the clips in it and everything. We could do that one if you
weren't you going to play the compilation of like Ray Fisher's Instagram stories from whenever?
I don't even have those. That would take forever. But anyway, that is the topic of today's video. It's the main topic. We're going to save that for the second half of the stream. But yeah, so Paigey is back. He's here with me. So you guys
last week
today. Yeah, but you were very quiet last week. You didn't say a lot because we had so many people on the stream. So
yeah, but that's also because you're talking about nonsense as well.
Well, you weren't watching X-Men or Invincible. So
no, I'm not woke, so I gave it a miss.
So why does Paigey hate animation? He doesn't hate animation. He doesn't hate animation. He just is not his favorite thing to watch. He's watched animated stuff before. It's just not right. I mean, you don't hate animation. Is that?
I don't hate animation. It's just
is animation woke? Is that what it is? Is that why?
I don't know. I guess they do use a lot of the colors from the Pride flag. So technically, if it's not in black and white, Eric, it could be seen as woke.
Everything other than the black and white version of Zack Snyder's Justice League is woke. Then is that what we're saying?
Well, no, because even when it's in color, his stuff is still like black and white. It's still lacking a lot of color. So yeah, I don't know. Probably flip of the coin deciding that one, I guess. See, that cat isn't woke. That's in black and white.
That's true. That is true, actually. The Paigey conspiracy era, maybe. The guest is going to be Eric Wallace. Eric Wallace, I mean, what would he be a guest for, being unemployed? I mean, I don't really know what else you would be on here for at this point. Yeah, X-Men 97 was a big one. We're going to do a separate stream on that on Monday. So all of the people that you normally see here on the after party is going to be on Monday with me to talk about X-Men 97, because I feel like there's so much to talk about and we try to squeeze it in here, and then it's like we can't really get into the details. So we're going to do a separate stream on that on Monday, but we'll talk about it there. Today we have a couple of topics though. We're going to watch the Joker 2 trailer, which I have only seen bits and pieces of, to be quite fair. And Paigey said he's only watched it once, so we'll see. Rebel Moon Part 2. Is anybody looking forward to that? It's a Rebel Moon Part 2. I mean, I feel like... Did you hear... Okay, look, let's get into that. That's not even really a topic, but let's talk about that for a second and make it a topic, okay? Because I feel like there's a reason we should be talking about this. So, Rebel Moon Part 2 is coming out soon. And there were some comments made by Zack Snyder in reference to the Rebel Moon movies. Did you hear what he said about this?
No, but I'm now a
Okay.
bit worried about
So
what you're about to say.
apparently, and I'm paraphrasing here, but apparently, it's not just an extended cut of the movie. He's actually using different scenes. So like you may get the same scene, like dialogue and characters interacting, but from a different angle.
Oh, so it's like
Or
alternate. So it's not extended. It's like
yeah,
extended, but with alternate scenes and stuff like that.
So basically saying that the rated R versions are going to be better. He made the statement before the second half came out. So he's already like telling people that the version that comes out later this year is going to be better than the ones that we have. So the question is he doing that because the first one was received so poorly, and so he's like, let me hype it up a little bit? I'm not totally sure what the plan is, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I don't know. I didn't plan on watching part 1, but I ended up watching and sort of regretting it. So, to be honest, I'd be surprised if I watch part 2, unless like it actually comes out for some reason in like a heavenly.
I'm going to watch
miracle.
part 2. I'm going to.
But isn't that for your new thing?
Sit down
isn't that
with
for
the
your
drink.
new series? Like I'm really ranting and reviewing. Isn't that part of your new series?
I couldn't even be bothered to make. I don't even think I did a review for Rebel. I think we just talked about it.
I think we just talked about it. Yeah, from memory.
It was one of those weird things where it's an incredible feat for Zack Snyder to put out something that was so completely boring and bland. I mean, it was.
To be fair, Army of the Dead was the same.
But I like the sequel to that. The sequel, the one that wasn't that other movie the sequel to that? Prequel, I guess, yeah.
But I even then, like Snyder didn't. I don't think write or directed it. I think he just produced it. I think someone else took the concept and yeah.
Was this the first thing that Zack Snyder like 100% made up himself, or has there been other stuff that he's done?
No, Army of the Dead was. Okay. Army of the Dead was the first thing I think he wrote or co-wrote and directed, and also did the cinematography. And then he did the same for Rebel Moon.
How someone that fans are so absolutely invested in can put out something as mediocre as Rebel Moon Part 1. I don't know how that's possible, to be completely honest.
I mean, at least in the modern day with like social media and stuff, I think you're going to see more and more. I don't think Snyder's going to be the first one. I think it happens with even like actors and actresses a lot. Like they'll put up a crap thing and they might not even be good of an actor, but they get stands and stuff like that. And they push them. It's like, well, hold on, they have this support online, even though we don't think they're necessarily that good. And then they get roles or whatever it is. Or even happens with like, even just happens with general like movies themselves, like franchises and stuff like that.
Yeah. It's just a little, to me, so it's baffling to me that Netflix wanted to do a PG-13 version in the first place. That part is bad because it's not a theatrical release. Well, maybe it is. Is it a theatrical release in some places in the world? Maybe that's why. Because I don't really understand why they would care if it was PG-13 or rated R. To be quite honest,
well, Netflix does release their movies in theaters, but it's usually like theaters they own, I think, don't they? Like, and then like they're very limited releases.
This whole thing is so weird, and it makes me think like if this is how Netflix would sort of mandate that Zack Snyder make movies for their service, like this whole idea of him doing the Justice League on Netflix would be a disaster. I mean, I think it would be a disaster anyway, but it would be even more of a disaster if it was like, restricted this way by Netflix. Let's see. Jordan here says, I didn't like Army of the Dead at all. Maybe some of the moments I thought were cool. Did you like Army of the Dead or?
No, it was fucking ass.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't think you did. I just wanted to make sure. So Fedman Plays did confirm Part 1 did have a limited theatrical release in the US. Okay.
Yeah, I knew it did because I was saying, I don't know, did it have IMAX? I don't know if it was filmed on IMAX. I don't know if they would have bothered, but yeah. I knew they had some sort of release.
To be fair, there were so many things in that movie that just bugged the shit out of me. I mean, he uses slow-mo a lot, but there was a lot of slow-mo in that movie that was unnecessary in scenes. And it was just, Oh God, I'm getting flashbacks of it now. Look, I'm gonna watch part 2, but I'm not expecting anything to change because if part 1, like if there was a break between the movies, maybe, possibly, there would be some changes that could have been made, but I don't think there's going to be a massive change in quality between part 1 and part 2.
Well, the one thing that I'm certain will be better in part 2 than part 1, even if the actual quality of it isn't good, it's just the actual general thing of it, and that's that it'll be more action packed. I guess it'll be stuff happening because in the first thing, it's like I know you're talking about slow mo, but like that first part is like actually slow. Like it's like we're like meandering through the story. Like
it's not just slow mo. Like the movie is slow. Like just all
it's just
like it's so it's already at like negative 2.5, but then it goes down to like -7 or whatever. Then it comes back up to 2.5.
It wasn't just called Rebel Moon. It was like rebel against like basic pace moon. Like it was incredibly slow.
God. Yeah. I don't know.
But speaking of Army of the Dead, out of 10. Because I know we've watched the same amount of episodes, what would you rate the Fallout show? I say that because Ella Purnell's in both of them. What would you rate the first 2 episodes of Fallout out of 10? Because we both watched the first 2. If you've seen more, don't spoil it.
So what would I rate the first 2 episodes? Like together?
Just Fallout? Conglomerate, just the opening 2 episodes.
I mean, I'm enjoying them so far. I think they're good. I think that the first 2 episodes sort of set up the season. Like if the first episode would have came out and you didn't get that second episode, I could see some people being like, I feel like there was some stuff left on the table. But the first 2 episodes really does kind of set the stage for where we're going on the show. At least I feel like it. I also like the suit. I hope that I'm right about this, and the chat can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the suit is practical, right? The one that the people are wearing.
It looks practical. Well, at least like obviously the bit where it opens and stuff like that.
It reminds me a little bit of the Savitar suit, but better.
Yeah.
Obviously. I think I truly believe a cosplay person must have helped them make that suit.
That's maybe, but also like I think it's just like someone that wanted to feel like authentic, but also in the games there's different suits, like there's different of the armor suits and stuff like that, so I wonder if you'll see different ones or they all just wear because from what I could tell when you saw the lineup of them, they all look like they wore the exact same one.
Yeah, so there's been a lot of complaining online. This is actually the next topic, so it's interesting you brought this up. There's been a lot of complaining online here that Netflix show creator slams binge TV release the day Fallout drops all episodes. So this is not someone on Prime, which is where Fallout is. It is a Netflix creator, but says here that as someone who has this whole season drop all at once in the same time, it's the dumbest shit ever. There's literally no upside. Imagine if the whole season of X-Men 97 was out, which is what Ben David Gurbinsky, creator of Netflix Scott Pilgrim, takes off. So he's complaining about this idea of like just dropping everything all at once and how it sort of I don't know, ruins the interest by fans. I'm beginning to think that there are some things that need to be binge dropped and some things that don't, and I don't know if the studios totally get it.
I think it depends on what the thing is. Like I think so, for example, like Ripley released on Netflix, drop it all at once. That doesn't need to be a weekly thing because it's almost like just an extended. I mean, if it's based off, I think if it's like based off like a pure source material where you're really just adapting it, drop it all at once. But when it's something where it's original, but it's based off something and there is going to be surprises and stuff, and you don't want to spoil people necessarily, don't do it. I like the method. Some people don't like it, which I think is weird because I think it's the best of both worlds where you get a larger taste at first, but then you also don't get the ending spoiled.
Oh, you mean like the multiple releasing like 2 or 3 episodes at the beginning?
Release 2, maybe 3 episodes, depending on how long the season is. If it's like only like 6 episodes, maybe I only release the first 2. I think Fallout's 8, so I'd release the first 3, and then you have 5 episodes after that of episode by episode by episode,
right?
And it builds up. And I think that was the original release method. I think it was going to be that. I don't think they were going to release 1 episode and then weekly after that. I think they're going to release probably 2 or 3 and then do week to week because I think they do that with a lot of their shows. So I don't know. I don't like it because luckily I'm staying away from the spoilers and stuff like that. I haven't seen anything. So Because I don't really like binge watching. I'll watch 2 to 3 episodes, but I don't like watching 8 episodes in like the space of 2 days. Watch maybe 2 per day at most. So I agree with it, but his thing like with Scott Pilgrim didn't need to be released weekly. That's one way I would binge drop that, or whatever you want to call it, or drop all the episodes at once for binge watching. But then, like Stranger Things, for example, after that first season, it probably should have been weekly. Because, and then like just those bigger shows, because people just, I mean, it's not even the case of like people like, I know people say have no lives and they watch 10 episodes in a row and stuff, but it's just people that skip to the last episode just so they can spoil it.
Right.
So they can spoil what happens. That happens so much as well. So yeah.
The thing is that it's funny you bring up Stranger Things, because it does make me wonder, like shows that are that large, when you release 6 episodes, say for example, the whole season is 6 episodes, which we see sometimes with the more expensive shows, arbitrary number, 6 episodes drop. There are going to be people that are going to stay awake till like right at the release time, whatever that is, like 3 a.m. or whatever it might be, wherever you live. And they're going to watch all of it at once. And then they're going to get online and they're going to start talking about it almost immediately. So by the time people wake up the next day or get off work the next day, they're already seeing spoilers for it online, which I think hurts the show, because there might be some people who, if they get spoiled on something big, they're going to go, I'll wait and watch it later. Then now that I've been spoiled on, I'm not going to go. I don't have to rush and watch it because I've already seen the spoilers online.
Yeah.
So you have that issue. At the same time, though, you can't expect people to not talk about it when you release it all at once, because that's what people do. So you put it all out at once, people are going to talk about it. So by doing it week to week on a show like Stranger Things, going back to what you were saying, you save people from being spoiled massively who can't watch 6 hours of TV at one time, but you also make it go on for like people watch longer over a period of time, or they may tune in. Like the finale week is a big week. Like I can imagine the X-Men 97 finale week is going to be massive. I think it's going to be a big week. I think there's a lot of fans that are just going to be waiting for that episode to drop, and it's going to be talked about for a while. And I actually believe that shows that go week to week, even after they end, I think they get more back end conversation as well, because people talk about it for a longer period of time. When you have a show that comes out and you binge it all the way through, very few of them last outside of maybe 14 days before people aren't talking about it anymore.
It depends on the nature of the show as well. Like the only Netflix shows that sort of like big that I agree makes sense to binge drop are ones like Avatar, because it's literally just the animated show put into live action essentially. So like, what are the spoilers going to be there? And like One Piece, because it's already based off that stuff, so people already really know what's coming in the fan side of things. And who's going to binge watch it? Fans anyway. Like some random person coming in is probably going to watch 2 episodes at most per day. They're not going to sit there and watch 10 episodes.
Right.
So
like for example, if the Flash had like a 21, 23 episode season and they dropped all of that in one day, nobody's going to watch all of that. I mean, there might be
I mean, God, like good luck. Go to a hospital if that's the case. If you watch it all in one day, but
So my question is though, do you think the business model is going to shift? Do you think people will start like these?
No, you know why? Because they must have market research where it's the best thing. They think it's the best thing to do.
Right.
They must think that that's the best thing to do. And also, I think even with like something like Amazon, if there's 8 episodes there, people have to subscribe for 2 months. Because like, but then again, it's like it's Prime, like especially in like major nations where like most people have Prime anyway for the free delivery and stuff like that. But I mean, like, I guess their viewpoint is like, well, we can get like them to subscribe for 1 month and then they watch all the episodes and stuff like that, or you risk that they might not subscribe at all because they know they're going to subscribe for 2 to 3 months to watch it, and they might go another method to watch it.
I don't know. I wish we had access to that information, because I want to see, like, are people truly more engaged with like watching a whole show at once? And is that, I mean, I guess they are, like, from the creative aspect and from the idea of like longevity. I don't think a lot of shows do well being binged anymore. And actually, you mentioned earlier about the whole idea of putting out 2 or 3 episodes in the beginning. What if we get to a point where there's like a season, say for example, it's an 8-episode season, and they would film like the first 2 episodes as like a movie where like the story starts and then we get like a sort of pseudo ending at the end of that. And then the rest of the season is sort of a sequel to those 2 episodes with something continuing on so that you get people hooked. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. That's what I'm thinking. Like, get people hooked. They're going to watch the rest of the season. I don't know. Let's see what the chat is saying over here. Jordan says there's no way a person would binge watch 20 plus episodes of a show if it drops all at once. I believe there might be some really insane people out there who would do that. Ragu says, for me, the double episode premiere, triple episode premiere is great. I actually think that's the best compromise is if they want to gauge interest, drop 2 or 3 episodes at once and then do the weekly release on the season. Fetman says, only downside of dumping shows all at once is the buzz around the show goes away after a week. Absolutely. But
I also think it's also like a change in how shows are produced, because even with like those early Netflix shows, they drop it all in a week, but the next season came out within like the next year or around a year after. But now you're getting like 2 to 3 year breaks between seasons.
Yeah.
Because like they're just taking so long. So I think they're going on like that original model was fine. Like no one hated when Netflix was dropping those shows early, like all the shows at once back in the day. But it's because you got the next season a year later. Now you're waiting 1.5, 2 years, God forbid, even 3 years or something like that. I mean, like, what's Stranger Things' this final season going to be? Like what, 20? I mean, when did the other season come out? Like, it's going to be a massive.
Well, I think it was 2022, right?
So, like, what, 3 years? And it's not like it's going to be like back half of next year. So, like,
was it? I mean, I could open up and look, but I'm guesstimating it's been at least a year or more since the last season of Stranger Things.
And it was towards the beginning of 2022, wasn't it as well? Like, and
then they broke that up. Remember, they broke up like the first half.
Well, they realized that that model would be an issue for that show. They didn't need to break that up. They broke it up because they didn't want people skipping to the end and watching that final third, which is like where everything happens pretty much.
So. All right, let's talk about some real news here when it comes to Fallout. And this is the AI ass controversy here that we see going on. So apparently, let me make this larger here. All right, so this is I swear AI is so ridiculous sometimes. It says quick and dirty, but the flatness bothered me enough because in the world where like it's pretty much lawless with the exception of some government intervention, it would make all the sense for this person that has lived in this 1950s aesthetic vault world to come out wearing like the tightest pants possible while walking around a dangerous landscape. I mean, it's just I don't even know anymore. I mean, like, first of all, the one on the left is much more realistically pleasing than the one on the right. The one on the right makes no sense to me.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
Like, if you're playing a game, fair enough if you want to do that to your character, but in the show, like what the hell are we doing? I mean, I just don't. I've seen this more than once. This is the example I'm using because we're talking about Fallout, but this has been kind of a thing now for about 2 or 3 months where it seems like this idea of character. So they want realism. They want everything to be dark, gritty, and realistic, but then they also want everything exaggerated and fake as fuck.
I mean, let's be honest. It's probably not worth spending time on this. It's some fucking loser. That's just
no. It's just I wanted to bring it up because I feel like it's a trend now with a lot of these shows and movies that people are doing this.
But obviously, like people jump on and interact and stuff like that. Wait, 30.1 million views? What the fuck?
Yeah. That's what I mean. This is why I brought it up, because it's everywhere right now. So, for example, I'm going to be honest. If I made a YouTube video and this was the thumbnail, matter of fact, I might clip this out and make this thumbnail. If I made this the thumbnail and I just was like, hey, look at this thing, it would get a lot of views because people see this and they're like, oh, cakes. You know what I mean? Like they want to click on it.
You know what's even the funnier thing around it?
What's that?
The watermark down the bottom. Like,
oh, right. Well, first of all, they've already established you cannot trademark or copyright AI works now. So
it's just the time to actually spend watermarking it.
Well, the thing about it is like so this is the crazy thing about AI. There's an AI program that removes watermarks. So like you've made an AI picture, you took the time to put the most pathetic thing is put the watermark on it. Then I could just go into an AI and take the watermark out of it. So that's the world we live in right now, where something like that gets 30.1 million views or something. All right, couple of quick topics. Peacemaker 2 apparently is in production. James Gunn shared a picture. Let me share this picture here, which I thought was kind of cool. The back of the helmet. Here we go. So are you excited for Peacemaker season 2?
I'm looking forward to it. I am very, very surprised it's started because it wasn't meant to start till like June or something. That was the date that was put out there. So I wonder if they're just literally directing one scene here, and then it picks up another place. So like this is like the time where they're using a location that's maybe the Superman film's using that they want to use for Peacemaker. Because I swear, like I'm pretty sure they said it was like late May or June at the earliest.
I mean, so it's 2 months ahead of schedule then, basically.
Yeah. So maybe it's just one of those situations where it's like, well, let's just direct.
I was thinking this too bad. Maybe it is the new intro. Maybe they're filming the new intro to the show. So, but Lloyd says here he's filming the premiere. So, well, I don't know. I'm excited for this, but I am a little bit concerned about like the whole idea of it being sort of I don't know. I know they didn't say retcon, but it'll take place in, I guess, the new DCU. I don't know how this is going to work. We'll have to see. Another little bit of news here. This is the actual logo for the Superman suit. Thoughts on this?
It's fine. I think anyone that was losing their mind over it is probably like going overboard. I probably think it's like, I think it's fine. Like it's fine. I've seen people saying it's the worst thing ever, and then people saying it's 10 out of 10. I think it's just fine. Like
I've heard people have said that the bottom half of the S sort of disappears into the bottom.
The thing is, if you showed this to someone, they like if you're on the street, people might not be able to pick out that it's a Superman logo. That's the only issue.
So you think that people would confuse us?
But if you told someone it was a Superman logo, they go, "Oh yeah, I can see it."
I honestly
they'd be overly confused.
Look, if I'm being completely honest here, I wish that I wish there was a slight hook at the top and a slight hook at the bottom to make it feel more like the actual. I know it's not supposed to be an S. Okay, I get it, but everybody knows that it's an iconic symbol that looks like an S for Superman, but it's the House of L. Yeah. But I think that a little maybe a hook on either side would probably have. I don't know.
I mean, I'm fine with it. Like, I think. I mean, it's also the logo. Like, it's like the least of the worries. Like, it's the least of the worries for this movie. Like, there's a bajillion things more important to this movie than the goddamn logo. Like, who cares?
So, I can't wait till the suit. Like, we're gonna have to do probably a whole stream on the suit because I know when the suit drops, regardless of whether or not it's a 10 out of 10 or a 1 out of 10, people are gonna. It's gonna be a discussion.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, you just don't bother going on Twitter because it's either people schlocking it off or people saying it's the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
So you sort of like form your own opinion and go with it, and just
I'm going to be kind of shocked here because this is going to be my first time watching this all the way through. We're at the half-hour mark, so I'd like to go ahead and jump into the Joker trailer here. Do
you mean Yoka?
Yoka, maybe. Okay, so we're going to watch this. Let me pause the background music. Now, this will probably get hit. I'd be really shocked if it doesn't. So if you're watching this on playback and it's not available, you can become a Team Airrick member, and I will upload I'll upload this specifically as a separate clip for anybody that misses out on it. So if you're not here live, be here live moving forward.
Here live.
Yeah, you have to be here live. So
one of the two probably works either.
Oh, maybe. Oh, Anthony says Warner Brothers doesn't like free promotion. No, it's just the stupid music. Usually, is what happens. Is there's a record label or something that has the music, and they come through and hit it. It's almost always music. I can tell you this: for me, it's almost always something related to background music.
Hallelujah.
So, how do you pronounce the movie title in French? Is it Folie Deux? Is that it?
Folie à deux. Doesn't it mean like twin madness or something like, or madness for two?
Yeah, maybe. All right, let's give it a watch. Here we go. Joker 2 trailer. Let's do it. Vibe is already different in this trailer for the movie. I mean, obviously the background music there kind of sets the mood for it. I feel like this is going to be a more what word am I looking for here? Maybe a surreal type film. I know the first one did have surrealistic elements, but I feel like this one might even go further than that based on what I'm seeing so far.
Well, I think if you put like the surreal elements in like the first one, like what, like 20% of the movie, maybe.
Yeah,
like not a ridiculous amount. Like there's some things where he's like envisioning stuff, and then of course they look to reveal that he's been imagining things, but it's not like the majority of the scenes in the movie. Well, I think this might be like a 50-50 split, especially if there's a lot of music, because anything musical I think in this movie is going to be in his head or he's like imagining it.
So you're thinking that all the musical elements are just what we're seeing through his eyes, basically, like
for the most part. There might be like a couple of things which somehow end up real or something like that.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna be straight up. I don't see Lady Gaga as Harley in this trailer. I just don't. Maybe it's because I've watched her for years as a musician. Like being a DJ, I've been playing her music for, almost 2 decades at this point. I don't see her as Harley Quinn. I just don't.
Yeah. I mean, the only issue is that I don't think this movie really highlights too much of that side. Like, there's a difference between Arthur Fleck and how he is when he puts on the Joker face paint, stuff like that. So they're two different characters. Well, I don't think this trailer really highlights too much of it. But then again, you hardly see her in the makeup. So that's like something for, I guess, another trailer.
Yeah, I think that's one of the issues. Is it's hard for me to imagine
she's playing
her.
She's playing Harleen Quinzel here, which just feels like Lady Gaga talking.
Yeah.
So that's probably the thing you have to wait for, is like when there's actually thing.
Yeah,
Lady Gaga songs. I'll tell you what went off when I was in high school. Just Dance came out. That was a banger. Everyone, and also because Akon's on that song randomly.
It was Red One, which also does a lot.
No, Akon was her manager or something, wasn't? Or producer.
Oh yeah. There was a connection there, but yeah, Red One worked. Like that was the big producer back then or whatever. But I just don't know. Okay, so it looks so far it looks pretty good. I think there's nothing wrong with the way the trailer looks and the way the film is going to look, and I think there's a lot of obviously good composition, good lighting, good makeup, all of that stuff, because I think that's definitely sort of a a stamp on this franchise I guess we're going to have now. But I just do not buy Lady Gaga's Harley.
That's a really good shot, but it also makes no sense because her field of view is nowhere in line.
Right. I have so many thoughts about this. First and foremost, I think the movie's probably going to do really well. I think it is going to make money. So that's like,
I'd assume it either gets close to $1 billion, like either makes $1 billion, or it gets pretty close to it. Obviously, it depends on the quality. If it comes out and it gets bad reviews, then maybe not. But then again, the first one only got like 60% or something on Rotten Tomatoes.
I think it actually looks fine visually. I think the
it just looks like the first one.
Yeah, I mean, but that gritty sort of like really rundown aesthetic, it's there. It doesn't like they changed that, which is good because I know a lot of people were worried they were going to change the way that looks. Couple things. One, obviously the Lady Gaga stuff. The Harley makeup that she had on looks atrocious. I hate that look. I know that was one that leaked out a couple years ago. And I was like, that can't be real because there's a lot of AI ones going around at that time and fan art ones. I don't like the way that looks with the little diamond eye thingies, and it looks generic to me. I'm not a big fan of that. How long are we going to be in this world before it doesn't make sense that there's no Batman? That's my question. At what point are we looking around waiting for Batman to actually show up and interact with these characters? Because the first one was an origin story. There was no Batman, and I was buying into it because it felt like it could happen, in the real world.
Do we know the time frame between?
I don't think so.
Has that come out? That might be an interesting thing.
I don't know. Look, I just think at a certain point, it's going to be, fans are going to feel like we're leading up to Batman, but I don't know if that's going to ever happen.
No.
Okay, so Lloyd, let me tell you why I disagree with this. Batman and the Joker are two sides of a coin. This is why everybody wants to use Joker with Batman. Batman is the insanity that's being contained as an individual who looks for the patterns and behavior and predictability of humanity. Joker is the flip side of that coin, that is the unpredictable person that lets all that insanity out and is the opposite of Batman in terms of chaos and things like that. I think a movie like this or this franchise is eventually going to need that other thing. There's only but so long the chaos can go on before it becomes like just not entertaining to me. That's why I disagree with it. Maybe it doesn't need a Batman, but there definitely needs to be another side to this. And I feel like the first movie, it was fine because it was a character study. This one, we're following up on these characters. It's the second time in this world. Now we're getting Harley Quinn. And I'm assuming a lot of this is going to take place in his mind while he's locked up. So a lot of it is going to be completely irrelevant, like surrealistic fantasy stuff. And if he's going to get out and they're going to be running around town like we see, and that's real, I just feel like it's weird to not have someone to counter that. And I'm not talking about the Gotham Police Department, but that's me. I feel like there's something missing, and this movie's just going to aggravate me. I only watched the other Joker movie one time. I saw it one time, and that was enough for me. I understand why people like it. It's not my cup of tea, but it was well done. I think there was no issues with it. But I think the concept of a Joker movie by itself in a world without Batman was a surprise sleeper hit. Now, this one has the unique opportunity to come after that movie and have to continue that momentum that the first movie had, but introduce a new Harley Quinn when Margot Robbie has been iconic as that character, with Lady Gaga, who is so massive a star in the world already, coming in to play this character where she's got to live in this role. There's a lot of stuff on the line here. I think you're right. I think if bad reviews come out, that's the only thing that'll hurt this movie. I think the movie will probably do good otherwise.
I think even with unless it's like 10% or something, I think even if it was rotten or something, you still got people would be like, oh, well, because the thing is, the first one, the script for that movie is not very good. It's like pretty average. The fact it was nominated for an Oscar is actually very surprising because the script isn't very good, but it's like, it looks good. Like it's at least stylistically, it's a good film to watch. And then obviously Joaquin Phoenix is really good and obviously carries it. So it's not like the first film's like this like masterpiece in regards to all the different aspects. It's just got stuff like some stuff there that obviously held people together and made it people's favorite film of that year or like one of their favorite films of the year or whatever it is. So it's not like this film has a ridiculous standard to meet. It's more maybe expectations from fans in regards to what it is and whether the musical element wanes people off, because that's one thing this trailer doesn't do. I don't think it explicitly tells you it's a musical.
No,
I know Todd Phillips came out and said, well, it's not exactly a musical, but it's a musical. Like, you can't just tiptoe your way around it. Like, it's either a musical or it isn't a musical. You can't say it's not really. Like, it is or it isn't.
Right. Yeah. Well, we'll see.
So I'm just interested to see if that wanes people off, because that trailer didn't highlight that too much. It just makes it seem like there's going to be more of those, or at least the fact that he's, I guess, dreaming stuff or imagining stuff is more prevalent and more obvious in the movie rather than the first one where it's more of a reveal in that final act.
Well, with Lady Gaga being involved, I'm pretty sure the soundtrack is going to be good, but we'll have to get there first.
Well, I don't like the fact it's a jukebox musical makes me concerned, because that means you have to like you have to choose songs and like
yeah.
I mean, they chose
it means that people are gonna like associate like the song that you're playing in your movie with another thing, most likely. You know what I mean? Like they're gonna have memories of that song associated with something else instead of having something original.
Yeah, because like
there was gonna be like a couple of original songs by Lady Gaga, I think, but I don't know what that even means, to be honest.
I mean, because who, like that's like because that was like that's a Bird Bacharach song that's playing in the trailer, and like that's from like what year is that from?
Oh God, I would say like the 60s maybe.
You'd have to assume it's something like that. Like what decade is that from? Like
65. 70s? It was like mid 60s, yeah.
So like, is that like where a lot of the music? Are we going to get like a lot of like Sinatra like plays at the end of the first one?
Yeah,
you know, because people might be expecting all of a sudden to Lady Gaga to start breaking out Bad Romance or something like that.
Let's play a love game, yeah, like all of that. Maybe
take a ride on my disco stick.
Yeah,
or something I
have no clue. We'll have to revisit it in a bit. I'm sure we'll get more news on it as it gets closer to release, because that's one of those movies where the studios are short on superhero stuff, so they're gonna hype up anything even adjacent to that as we get closer. Sabrous here with a $2 super chat says, what if you met Nicole Maines at some event? I don't think Nicole is doing a lot of conventions that I've been looking into. I know that she's writing for DC now. I think there's a Dreamer series that just came out. I think the first issue came out, I think last month, maybe. I have to look into it. I haven't been to the shop this past week, so I'll ask about it when I go in. But I actually hit her up on social media, and I think she probably gets a lot of hate, so she doesn't read a lot of her comments. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of people.
Why'd you send that?
Yeah, I know. I said, hey, love your work. Would like to have you on a podcast. Let me know if how to reach out to you or whatever. That was so hateful.
Did you accidentally say that you're from the Geeks and Gamers Network? She might have been like, oh, okay.
But she might have seen green in my profile and been like, yeah, we're not going to do that. We're not going after that one. I would love to chat with Nicole, and maybe I'll reach back out to her soon to see if something like that could happen. I'll be honest, most celebrities now on social media, with the exception of the really big ones, will interact with you and jump on podcasts now. It's really weird how accessible a lot of them are. Hey, Defunct, how are you doing?
Is that so? What was the response from your message to Dean Cain? Did he get back to you, or
no? He thought I was too woke, so he was just not gonna.
Okay, we're wearing the Lego glasses again.
Yeah. I wanted to look here. Some of the Paramount releases. These are kind of interesting from CinemaCon, and then we'll get into the Ray Fisher stuff.
Oh, by the way, I was like, CinemaCon is mental now. Like quickly, like pretty much since COVID, what it's become.
Yeah, it's basically a Comic-Con slash
Comic-Con 0.5. It's like Comic-Con the warm up. Like it's
because it didn't used to be. Go back like 10 years.
Not even that. Like go back to like 2019. Like arguably, like COVID changed it.
Yeah. So here we go. This is the Paramount stuff, and I'm pulling this up because some of these were wild. I did not expect these. So an R-rated TMNT Last Ronin movie. That's the one we're going to talk about in relation to Ray Fisher. Why is somebody coming to my door right when I'm streaming? As always, it's always someone at my door when I'm streaming.
It's Ray Fisher. He's found out your address. He's live on Instagram at your door.
Maybe. Anyway. So we got the R-rated TMNT Last Ronin movie, which is coming out, and that's the one that is connected to Walter Hamada, which we'll get to in just a second. We have a new Star Trek movie. Not too surprised about that, because Star Trek is really big right now, and I'm not shocked they're going forward with that. The Running Man from Edgar Wright. Now, I looked up some other stuff on this. Is this a remake of The Running Man with Arnold Schwarzenegger? Is that what this is going to be?
I think so.
That's crazy to me. That is crazy to me that they're remaking that movie.
Yeah, but I think with Edgar Wright's like style and everything like that, it's probably worth testing out.
Yeah. Now this one is kind of interesting. A G.I. Joe film franchise crossover with the Transformers, which, to be fair, I actually think that would work. I think that would fall very closely together. Those two franchises. What about you? Did you? Because I know there was a comic book series that they crossed over in. So
yeah, I don't have really no like connection to G.I. Joe, and I've sort of past the Transformers. I watched like the
so you've grown out of it. You're too fucking old for Transformers now.
No, it's just that I necessarily didn't love them when they first came out. Like I liked the first one. Really, that was mainly because it was like a big pop culture thing. The first one.
We talked about the Rise of the Beast and how you were like, I don't even care if I see it or not. Or something.
It was on one of the streaming services, and I watched like 20 minutes of it. And it wasn't bad. Just that like it just didn't hold my interest, so I just turned it off.
I actually think they're going to sell a lot of toys with that movie. Most likely the crossover toys, which is
who's going to be in it? Because it wasn't like The Rock in the G.I. Joe movies, or is it going to be like a reboot G.I. Joe mixed with this new Transformers cast?
What is it like here? Darth says it seems like an uneven crossover. I don't think so. I think there's a lot of similarities in those worlds. It's just it depends on how it works, who the director is and stuff. I don't think they announced the director for that. So Eric Z says, "Sup, Eric? I was told by someone who attended the LA premiere of Rebel Moon Part 2 that cuts Rebel Moon are put out Netflix decision." Oh yeah, I mean I didn't have any doubt in that. I totally believe that was the case. Society says Ray Fisher
has the alternate Part 1 come out yet or not?
No, it doesn't come out till the summer. That's the thing, is they're waiting till the summer.
So Part 2 is coming out before the alternate Part 1?
Yes. Yep.
Oh, I thought, God, that's weird. I thought
it is weird. It is fucking weird. Absolutely epic Gladiator 2 footage, which I'm sure that will get released pretty soon. Transformers 1 looks awesome. Avatar trilogy with Batista as the villain.
That's the animated one. Yeah, that's the animated one where like it's got the older Aang with like a trimmed beard.
I mean, you're not a huge fan of Avatar.
I mean, I was gonna say I probably won't watch it, so I pointless me giving an opinion on it.
And then SpongeBob movie, Smile 2, and more. So
I mean, the only things out of this that I'll probably watch are maybe that TMNT movie, probably Running Man, Gladiator 2. Probably it.
So we found out that let's see, the live action. Make sure I have this right. I'm not going to pull this up. There's no point pulling this one up. Let me put a little bookmark there. Okay, so we have a live action R-rated Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie in the works from producer Walter Hamada. And Tyler Burton Smith, who co-wrote the upcoming action movie Boy Kills World, is penning the script for this high body count tale. And this is based on Last Ronin. And whether you like it or not, we had this tweet here. Let me find the tweet from our good friend Ray Fisher, who posted this gem here. It says Eric's the only thing. Let's see what he has to say here. He says the only thing Walter Hamada should be producing is an apology to participants of the Justice League investigation. Right?
Like that was the top 2 replies.
Yeah, so when will we see more soon? I'm still waiting on your apology to James Gunn.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. The more soon and nothing ever came.
Well, that's the reason why I wanted to talk about
he used to always leave more soon or something like that. And then, like there would never be anything.
No, he absolutely did. We're gonna look through this or whatever. But at this point, I don't know, and I've read through the replies. We're not going to read all of them because some of them get really bad. The support just isn't really there anymore.
Go through the replies. I haven't seen because I saw you send the tweet to me, but I didn't click on it just because I could see everything there.
All right, so here we go. This is an ad. Tell them, King. Okay, still waiting, big guy. Enough with the grift. And here we go. It says this one here from the 2020. More soon. Here from 2021. More soon. More 2021. More soon. So there's just 3 of them. I actually went through. There's more than 3 where he says that. This one here says, "Go touch some grass or go fishing. Write a screenplay. Do something other than complain." Fisher, let it go, fam. We got the film, and Hamada has moved on, which is, I think, where a lot of people are. And this is what I said.
Probably the best way to lie, like not lie as in like tell a lie, but that's the best place to lay. Like the movie came out, you got it, you got the plaudits or whatever it is potentially from there. But then Hamada's not in there. He's not involved with anything there. Like I don't know if TMNT all of a sudden hires another complicated person, or for some reason, like I don't know, Gal Gadot's on there or something.
Let me
like
ask you a
that.
question. Walter Hamada, okay, is working in a really nice position at Paramount. He's getting his checks. He doesn't care about Warner Brothers. He doesn't care about any of these old things he's worked on. He is in charge of a really good division over at Paramount. He doesn't care about this because the vast majority of the public has kind of moved on from it. And the apology part just isn't going to happen. He is not going to apologize for anything. And the reality is that there's been multiple investigations into this now. Ray has promised there's more stuff to be revealed. Here we are. It's April of 2024. When is it going to come out? If there was any sort of like contractual reason why he wasn't saying anything, that is long gone at this point. It's long gone.
So Eric Z is saying read Matt Jarbo's response to Ray.
Yeah, I'll have to look for that. But so Anthony, it's not even about that. Like I don't mind that he wants to speak out about stuff, but stop asking Walter for an apology. If you have something that is damning, just say what it is. Just tell us at this point. If there is something so bad that he should be apologizing for it, and I'm not talking about the stuff that already came out that we've had investigations into, that some of it was proven, some of it was disproven. If there's something that is so bad out there, just tell us what it is. Don't say more later, more soon. It is 2024, Ray. Like, just drop it. Tell us what happened. Because Walter Hamada is not going to apologize. So just saying apologize, it seems to me like you're asking for something that you're never going to get. It's a really safe way for him to get attention. And I think that's why people are annoyed with it. Because he's doing it knowing that there's no accountability. He doesn't have to provide any receipts for anything at this point. And that's the thing. Like anytime Walter does something going, oh, when is he going to apologize? Like it just seems like, And look, I have said from the beginning, and some people have been mad at me because I've said this, but I do believe that from his perspective, he probably dealt with some shit that was not good. And I think there probably was some shit that went on with Warner Brothers that was not good. But unless it's more than what we already know, what else could it be? Think about this. We've already heard there was like racist shit that happened. We already heard there was some stuff going on with some of the other actors. Where are the other actors supporting him in this? We don't see Gal Gadot and Jason Momoa going, release the apology, Walter Hamada. We don't see that. So what possibly could be out there at this point? That's my question. Because I'm a nosy bitch. Like, I want to know. Like, if there's some tea to be spilled, then I want to know what it is.
Well, like, I think obviously it's something that affected Ray, but also the other actors feel that it's nowhere near big enough to even get involved in. Because I think if there was some injustice there, they would.
Yeah.
So obviously they
feel here's the Matt Jarbo response. Oh. Okay. So it says, are you still on this? Grow up, man. It's been 4 years. You got your pound of flesh and won't let it go. I guess talking about the idea the movie came out. And the thing is that when the Snyder Cut came out, I think everybody universally said that Ray was one of the best parts of that movie. The cyborg storyline was one of the best parts of that cut of the film. So I think the idea that he's going to get something out of Walter Hamada is just a lost cause. And then goes, reminder for all the folks in the back, Hamada wasn't even working at DC when the Justice League reshoots went down. Yeah, that's true. Joss Whedon is gone from the industry and Ray still needs his punching bag. Yeah. So the person that actually caused an issue with him, the big issue that was Joss, is no longer doing anything because it ends up there was actually some shit. Well, he's probably ghostwriting for stuff and everything.
He's ghostwriting. 100% he's ghostwriting, but he's not working as Joss Whedon.
Right. And Ray Fisher's asking him to apologize, Walter Hamada to apologize over and over, is not going to cause Walter to lose his job. So there's almost no point in any of that. It just seems to me like it's a waste of time. And as fans, I want to be supportive when people are treated badly, but at a certain point,
well, do you provide
think receipts for it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. Do you think it's like that Ray had this I guess thing where oh, these people, I'm going to target Joss Whedon, I'm going to target Walter Hamada, I'm going to target Jeff Johns, blah blah blah, and I guess it just didn't play out how he thought it would. Because I don't know if was Joss Whedon really his main target, or maybe he didn't feel Joss Whedon got scrapped the way that he felt he should have, or whatever it is. Because really, Walter Hamada and Jeff Johns probably got plussed out of it because I think Walter Hamada's in a bigger position now. Because isn't he like, it's a bigger position than one at Paramount than he was compared to the DC one. And then like Jeff Johns running his own company, like with like TV deals to his stuff. So like he's still got his office on Warner Brothers. Pretty sure
we absolutely know that I
pretty sure his office is still on Warner Brothers. So
true. So the thing is that I don't think there's any juice left to squeeze.
Wait, did I lag out there?
I don't know. Maybe. Did you?
I don't know. What was the last thing you heard me say?
Well, you're talking about like the Walter Hamada and Joss Whedon stuff.
Oh, okay. I don't know because he like reloaded for me for a second there. So I'm not too sure.
Yeah. No,
I'm not too sure if it was me or it was you.
It was probably me, but there's no juice left to squeeze. I don't think. I think that Ray is looking for more where there's nothing more to get out of this, and I also think that people want to be supportive of Ray. They want to be fans of Ray and whatever he's doing, and this feels like, Rebel Moon wasn't the big jumping off point that I thought it was going to be. So let me go back to talking about Walter Hamada again.
Is he in Rebel Moon Part 2?
Supposedly he is.
Because I saw the thing where he was at the premiere. I'm like, well, you wouldn't be there if you weren't in the second part. Like
I actually think it might be flashbacks.
I'm assuming because from memory, he died. Like he's on screen for like 2 seconds and then dies.
Well, that's what I mean. Like having him in the movie just to get killed off was kind of stupid. But
then like his sister, whatever that other character, or like from the same race or something, stays alive. I'm like,
yeah.
I'm surprised it wasn't the other way around.
Yeah, I don't know.
By the way, we'll keep talking.
Well, I was going to say that I truly believe that fans want to get behind Ray and everything he's doing, and this going back to this thing from like almost a decade ago now. You know what I mean? Like when this filmed, like almost
2016, they started filming.
Yeah, it's we're 2 years out from being we're further away from it to the decade than we are closer to the midway point now. So I don't know. I wanted to be supportive in the beginning, but now it's become sort of like we've had multiple investigations. We've had multiple people come forward. You're not getting support from your cast members, who should honestly be the biggest supporters of this because they were there. Most of them were there when this all happened. They're being quiet. I just want to say this. If his friends who were there with him when the filming started are not being supportive of him, then why the fuck should we continue to support this stuff? Why, as fans, should we continue to support this stuff? Because clearly they would know stuff that we don't know.
Yeah. Maybe it's the thing he just doesn't want to feel like he's, I don't know, like, what would you say, like backing down or something like that. But the thing is, like, I think anyone that has like any sort of like over relevance would have just like moved on from it anyway. They just don't care. So I think like Ray bringing you back up is just like, well, hold on, you're still on this, like, and especially if it went through that investigation and everything was disproven.
Yeah,
that's
the part. Like, that's the part that did
specifically with Walter Hamada.
Honestly, that's what did it for me. When the investigation happened, and they came back with the people that he said that he wanted to do it, and then they came back and found that that stuff wasn't happening. He was like, "Oh, well, like that's not what I want. I want some different people to investigate." So at that point, your caveat was, I want the investigation to happen, but I want it to be a party that's not connected, to Walter Hamada and all that. So he got what he asked for, and then it still didn't find what he wanted them to find. And then all of a sudden he started to backtrack. That was when I jumped off the train. I was like, okay, I want to believe him, but that was where it started to feel a little bit like, what am I supporting at this point? So the more soon stuff, the more later stuff, it doesn't work for me. I don't think it's doing anything for him.
Will you be getting a tattoo more soon? Or is that not happening?
I'm gonna start making more soon merch. Get ready for it to pop up my shop.
Get that hat and just let it just stall. It's just small.
Yes, more soon. Yeah.
More soon. Dot.
Yeah. So it's a little like Kenneth says it reminds me a bit of the Ruby Rose situation, but different, of course. I guess with the stuff that happened on set of Batwoman. The only difference for me in that regard was it was very clear something was going on behind the scenes. We just didn't know what it was. That was obvious while watching the show, and some of the stuff that was happening on social media, something was going on. The stuff with Ray was supposedly so deeply embedded in production that it wasn't obvious. So
I just realized. Do you
can't
think
wait
we
to
should
watch
get
Joker more soon?
Or what about Rebel more soon? And the title card can be like, it's Rebel Moon, and it's like the new spin-off, and then like the M separates from the OON and or S gets put in there.
Oh my
Rebel
god!
More soon,
More
coming.
soon.
Well, coming never, because coming when Ray Fisher shows receipts.
Well, not only that, but I don't know, based on the way the reception to Rebel Moon has been, I don't know if are they locked in for a certain amount of movies?
I think one of like spin-offs or something like that. Like I think it was like to see how
there's a comic book spin-off. I know that.
Isn't there like it was a video game, wasn't it, or something like that?
Yeah. So all the Marvel stuff from CinemaCon will be relegated to the Monday stream when we talk about X-Men. So basically everything Marvel related we'll talk about on Monday night. So if you're interested in all that, tune in. That's going to be a open door policy stream, which is where I'm going to allow everybody to jump on. So everybody can anybody who's watching now who's in the green room, you'll get a link for Monday. We'll talk about it there because we have to wrap this up. I got to go to work. That's why I wanted to get this done quickly and just chat with you guys. But thank you so much for being here, everybody, and supporting the stream. Thank you to the Team Airrick members and all of the Airrickverse that is here. I will be live tomorrow on my second channel, and then on Monday I'll be back here with the with all of the X-Men Marvel stuff. So, oh gosh, Ben, get ready for the clickbait. Anyway, let's just rotate through all the different thumbnails. Anyway, have a good night, everybody, and I will see everyone on the flip side. Take care. Bye.